Start? Great. Hello YouTube people, it's 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, February 20th, President's Day, 2023. Okay, and I am stumped. With an Aiwa CS-J50, aka Aiwa CS-500, I think. Let me see here, where's the mouse go? Okay, got so many things going on here. Alright, so there's that. Here, I didn't post that video. Here, okay, it's a CS-500, that's what the deal is. There's a CS-500, okay. The Japanese version is a CS-J50. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. I'm looking for the service manual for this model because I can't, well, anyway, okay, just so many things trying to show you here. Okay, there's, well, okay, that's just jumping to, that's the flywheel that's underneath there, and there's a gear that is driven by the flat belt, and then then underneath the flywheel is this pulley, which then drives the foreground white pulley. Okay, that's the way it's supposed to go. And this one drives a gear, which basically drives your auto shut-off actuator, I think. I think that's how it goes. And what other picture? And then that's just that's the buttons. But I want to go back to my pictures. Okay, well here's a, wait, I have the PDF of that. So that's the PDF of the sales catalog of this model, and you can read about it if you can see it. Alright, or you can just see, so, no, not there. Okay, so here we go. I started here with, open with that. Okay, so here's the front of it. Okay, that's what that says right there. It's a twin drive, and when I made an unboxing video, I didn't realize that the two speakers in front, these two speakers in the center, those are your woofers, and the outside ones are essentially huge tweeters. So when I said when I was unboxing I couldn't hear these outer speakers, that's because they're using them as tweeters. Okay, so you have to have the volume up higher for these to actually start producing sound. So at a low volume, only these really produce sound, at least not enough that I can hear. Anyway, so much for that. So here's the top of the model. All right, there's all your other buttons and those. Okay, so, and this has got full complement of line in, line out, external speakers, microphones, headphones, and your OSC button. That's the bottom. Okay, this is a close-up of the, the tape deck controls. This is a soft touch control unit. It's a very light touch to push those buttons. You push them, they don't do anything unless, well, that's the problem I'm having. And that's a picture of the center, just to get a good idea as to what all these things do. Okay, and that's just an overview picture showing the tuning and that. And down here's your DSL button. Okay, that's the back, and it's an Aiwa CS-J50. Okay, and whatever. That's the battery compartment open. Now when I opened this up, this only had 3 screws. One here, one there, and one in the down and lower corner. This screw, that screw, and this screw over here was not there at all, which led me to believe either they lost the screws or someone else was inside this model before me, which is the case, as I'll show you in a moment. So this is, you open it up, and there's your antenna wire, the blue one. Okay, and then over here is your, I thought those are your power leads. Okay, and then just a flash, the same thing, and then just an overview of the entire unit with a flash, and then we have a close-up again of the power lead wires, where they go. Okay, and this is a picture, this is a picture of just the 3 screws that came out of the back of the unit. Alright, And then now this is, oh, that's what I forgot to get. It's in the other room. Let me go get that. I thought I had everything out here, but I don't. Let's not trip on anything. I'm tripping. Well, I just did that. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, coming back. Hope you didn't miss me much. Alright, here I got it. I just never seen one of these before. Okay, so where was I? Doing that. Turn this off. Alright, so now moving on to the next picture. I'm going to point you out to this this rubber belt, right? Well, these two rubber belts. First of all, that's a newspaper belt, and that's not a pulley that's supposed to drive that off the motor. That's not a, that space right there is not a pulley to drive that belt. Okay, and then this is not a belt, it's a piece of cloth. Alright, so I've never seen a cloth belt before, but somebody they actually tied a piece of cloth around this flat piece of belt, or flat piece of cloth, or whatever, and then they glued it. They glued it together right there. Okay, so it's glued together. I just never seen anything like that. Somebody's trying to make this thing work. All right, so there's that. Anyway, moving along, and there's just another picture of whatever I can take a picture of again. There's the newspaper belt, the orange belt, and the flat belt. Okay. And just another overview picture because you can never have enough pictures. And then that. And a picture from the bottom just because. And just an overview picture. Another overview picture. And hey, another picture. Great. So now we're back to the motor, and well, it's not, it's an Aiwa motor. Anyway. And then here is a picture of the bottom. You have to remove the circuit board. You have to remove the main control circuit board, but not the radio part, because they're separate boards, to get the tape deck out. Alright, so that's in itself is a problem. Okay, so here's a picture of the motor. I don't know what you can get from those numbers, but that's the numbers off the back of the motor. Okay, and so on and so forth. And then that's a very helpful picture there, just showing where these screws went and such. And another, this is a very exceedingly helpful picture because to take the motor off, you have to remove these, you have to remove this back panel. Then you have to remove the motor. When you remove the motor, this is the most ridiculous thing in the world. This spring right here is what holds the cassette deck door flopping up, and it goes around this, which then rotates a flat wind machine to help slow the door opening and closing. But this has to be wrapped around here 3 times. And anyway, and so, but when you remove the motor, this comes with it. So you have to, after you replace, that's very confusing. After you replace the motor and or, I can't explain it. It's just, once you replace the motor, you have to replace this spring at the same time. Wind this cord around here 3 times, and then reattach the spring to the back of the motor housing gizmo. It's very confusing. Alright, so once again, there's that. Another helpful picture. And then here we have it off. Okay, and so, let's see, do we have any picture of the, well, okay, well, it's just, this is in a dovetail up here at the top. This has a dovetail at one end and just a couple screws at the other end. That's how it's held on. I wish I had taken a picture of the underside of the flywheel, but I didn't. So here's the belt I eventually put in, nearly that size, and that was about the size, well, that was the size of the belt that came out. So it was about a 70 millimeter. I put in about a 65 millimeter belt. Or no, I put in a large belt because, I'm sorry, I put in about a 4-inch belt, a 4-inch belt, because the belt goes from the underside of the flywheel to drive this other wheel. So that goes from there to there, all right? And then that's the flywheel, and yeah, it's just a flywheel. And then we're back to the front. So now and then, while I was in here, wait, not there. While I was in there, I shot this little video down here, so I'll play that for you. Okay, so I have the speakers here, and I've got the volume cranked up. So here we go. Here, you see, here are the speakers. Okay. Let's show a little video with our picture-taking camera, because we just discovered that there is this loose wire right here. It's actually broke. And if we touch it on the motor, we can actually get the tape deck to work. It's got a cloth belt there, and then a rubber band, a loose paper rubber band up there, and I don't know why it's clunking, but that's the wrong kind of belt. So that's what's wrong with this. We really need to change that to, because now it's going to go faster. So I guess the motor's good, but we need to find out why it's doing that. And so, okay, well, alright, it's been a minute. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Yeah, we gotta fix this. Bye-bye. Alright, so much for that. Okay, so where else? What else can I show? I showed that. I showed this. That was the player controls. Who cares? This is that, and then so the problem I'm having with this model where I'm stumped, I'll leave it there because that's really what I really need to show you, or what I need to see, so I can show you the rest of this. All right. So now I have put all new belts on here. Okay, and the only way I can show that is if I wide this thing out. Right? Wide it out. And take the camera off tripod, okay? Take the camera off tripod and show it to you like this. Okay, so here is the cassette deck. All right, is it wide out? Yeah. And the heads are up. All right, I want to point out that the heads are up and that the capstan right here is actually touching on the pinch roller. You can push, it's a very heavy spring to pull that back. So that's there, and then this is in the up position. It won't go down. It won't stay down. Okay? So it won't stay down. Therefore, you cannot, you know, you can close the cassette deck, and then you can hit this. Wait, that one there. Yeah, you press it hard enough, and it'll close. So now, because I've got this all back together where it should be. Okay, so that's strong enough to pick up the cassette when it's in there. Now if I can carefully rotate this around up to, let's see here, well just, I mean this is all still wired together here. Come on, it was balanced before. Well, I have to hold it, I get, okay, there we go. So now what I've got is I've gotten some, got a 9-volt power supply here. Can you tell it's 9 volts? And we've got a wire hooked up to the that there on the motor. Wait, can you see the motor? Can't really see the motor. Here, get this around your head. All right, so wait, here's, can't find anything. Okay, so there's that. So if we put power to the motor, okay. Come on now. Well, okay. All right, well, See if I can hold it with my finger and put power to this. That's going to rotate my finger. Okay, no, I can't do that. Just put it here. Okay, so. Well, oh God, am I shorting it out? It's only 9 volts. Well, there we go, I got it running. Yay! So it's running, it's silent. Okay, and I know the people on YouTube or Facebook can't see this, but it's running. Okay, it's running. That's doing what it's supposed to do. And this is rotating, okay. And I can't really, can I flop it down somewhere? No, it stopped. Well, come on now. Okay, it's running again, great. I can't, okay, see if I can hit the, there we go, I got that to come up. Okay, so, it's back to running, okay, and if I can pick up the whole business, well, I just lost my power. Darn, okay, here. Alright, I can't do that. I got 16 minutes. Let me put this thing back on the tripod. Get this thing set up to where I can have it running to where I had it a moment ago. Because it's really finesseful to do this. Okay, so this thing back here. Yeah. Okay, so now, great, so now if I can release the camera from the tripod and not drop the camera on the floor. Okay, great, so just holding by the battery, okay, rumbling around, okay, so there it is, we got it running, we're holding it by the motor, right, and then as you see, that one's rotating, okay. Now, if I had a third hand to push one of these buttons, which again up there, fast forward to rewind, which would be the silver buttons. Well, let's see here. Can I wrap this around your hand? Come on now, just whap that thing around. Okay, here, I can't do this. Come on, get it in your hand. There we go. Okay, so get that and get your finger down here and just tap. There's the fast forward button. And it didn't do anything, okay? It's still rotating. And then here's the other button. It's not doing anything. We hit the stop, and it didn't stop. Okay, it's still running. Okay, so, and then of course the middle button here is the play button, and it didn't do anything, okay? And so, let's see here, oh good, I can set it down now. And the thing is, the head, see it's still running, okay? But the heads just won't retract. So if anybody knows anything about this model here, why the heads won't retract, the only thing I can think of is that, where's the mouse? Going back to the pictures, the only thing I can think of is that, no, not that one, not that, this here, that this gear is, okay, this gear, that one right there, the one that's all fuzzy now, that gear is rotated by the flywheel, which then drives the mechanism inside this very thick thing here, and it just won't engage, it won't engage the heads in some form or fashion to retract them. So does anybody know anything about how this deck works? In the meantime, I'm going to be putting, okay, that's the other thing. I won another one. So I have another one coming to me in, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. But I really would like to get the tape deck working. I've got the tape deck working, I just can't get the heads to retract. And that's the whole question here. So I really don't like soft touch controls anyway, but I really like this model. So there's the model. It's been 20 minutes. Good day. Bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you can help me. Very hard to find the service manual for this, but the bottom line here is that everything is here. Let's see here. This rotates if you rotate that, but it won't turn on its own because there's nothing to turn it. The fast forward or rewind button, or even the take up reel, it won't turn. This is turning, but there's nothing to turn it. So, and it's in, this is play mode. That's stop. Play mode, stop. Fast forward, nothing. Rewind, nothing. So that's all we know. So good day, bye-bye. Hope you can. Anyway, can't say no more. Thanks for watching. Had fun. 21 minutes. Goodbye.